Hello guys, Project Turbo here. Today we are going to take off the rocker cover on Curtis's car.
Reason we're taking the rocker cover off, because if I take you guys over here, got the car in the garage by the way, but yeah, there's quite a savage oil leak at the back corner, as you can see. All of them parts down there, they're all just covered in oil. When we took the car to the exhaust shop to get the exhaust done, we realised that there was oil slowly dripping. So yeah, we found the problem. So we're going to take the head or the rocker cover off of the car. We're going to silicone it up, and yeah, pop it back on. But whilst it's off, we're going to respray it.
This is all going to be ready for tomorrow's video. It needs to be sorted for tomorrow.
It needs to.
Because you need to be as excited as we are.
We can't tell them, but
you need to be as excited as we are for tomorrow. And we hope, can't wait, honestly. Can't wait. So let's get the head off the rocker cover off the car.
Right, so guys, the head or the rocker cover is actually off of the car now. Don't know if that colour is normal, but if any of you guys know, put a comment down, let us know if that's a healthy looking engine or not.
With these, I would recommend doing this when you take your bolts out, because you generally want your bolts to go back in the same place where they come out of. You don't want to just chuck them in a pot and put them in random places. You can write on the cardboard bottom to top, but I know that's the bottom and that's the top, because they're the two bolts at the back that hold the coil pack bracket on. So I know that anyway, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind. Just put your bolts where they need to go.
It's just a little bit of cardboard all down, screwdriver, just punch some holes in it. It takes literally 35 seconds to do, but it saves you a whole load of hassle when you're trying to find bolts that you leave all around the side of the engine here. But yeah.
That's the culprit there.
Yeah.
So we have it off. Here is where it was leaking the most out of.
This corner here.
Yeah, you can see all the oil residue around the actual gasket itself. But what we'll do is we'll just put some gasket sealant around that. It will keep it a nice good seal and keep it from leaking out everywhere. But yeah, so we'll clean this up, we'll get it painted, and then we'll get it back on the car with a new gasket seal. Right,
so guys, now we've got the rocker cover off, what we're going to do is we're going to take the gasket that's off of the rocker cover. I have got a pot of engine degreaser here, so we can get most of the grease and grime off, so we can make the surface nice and clean. So when we seal it, it's like, yeah, there's no grit or nothing in there. So what you got to do is when you take off the rocker cover, let's try and get it out. What you want to try and do is put it on a nice clean surface. Don't go putting it on any dirty floors or anything, because obviously if you get grit in your gasket, it's just going to ruin the surface and it's not gonna seal up properly. So take out the gasket. Try not to split it when you're taking it out. And yeah, we've just got some newspaper that we're going to put it on, just because it's a nice, easy, clean surface. So leave that there. Now it's time to clean this up. Right, so now it's the degreasing stage. So I've got a couple of little tools I'm going to use. I'm going to use a sponge with a scourer pad on it, and also a brush. Now this brush is actually sat in degreaser right now, this brush here. You can also use a toothbrush if you don't have like a proper brush for it, but luckily we do. I'm just going to take off these little plastic things that are on the engine now, just so it gives us, so we can properly clean the surface. Oh. Right, so now that's all off, start degreasing. So guys, as you can see, I'll show you the rocker cover in a minute. The degreaser is actually working its miracle magic stuff right now, because if you look, it's all foaming up. Just getting all the grime and dirt, it's just literally foaming up and soaking it out, which is really, really good. Just got Anthony those few bits that we actually took off of the engine. He's actually got them here. So yeah, what we've done is we've degreased them. We're going to respray them black. I mean, they look quite decent now we've cleaned them, but we are going to respray them black just so they obviously give the engine a lot better look, really.
Just makes them pop, really. It's just, you're gonna notice them. They only really hold the HT leads, but it's the little details that count, I think. But yeah, we'll get them all painted up nicely, and I think it'll look really good together.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah.
So now it's time to get to scrubbing the top of this rocker cover.
Right, guys, we have finished cleaning the rocker cover. There is a few spots in it that you can't really get a cloth into. We are going to use the compressor because we have it at hand, just to use some compressed air, blow out all the wetness from the corner. If you don't have a compressor, you can use a can of compressed air, or just use some, maybe get a bit of cloth on the end of a pencil, a really sharp pencil, and that will be able to get in all the little crevices. But you just got to make sure it is clean and it is dry, because any dirt or any wetness, it's just going to ruin the paint job completely. So make sure it's all clean and it's all dry before you get to paint. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to get ready to paint this now.
So now we've just used the compressor to get all of the moisture out of all the little tight nooks and crannies that we couldn't get to with a cloth. So it is all dry now. What I'm going to do, you notice I've got a sanding block with some very fine, we've got P180 grit paper. I am just going to sand the lettering down that's on the top of the valve cover, just so we can get it so it's nice and shiny, because after we spray it, I am going to sand it down so then the lettering isn't the colour that we're spraying the actual rocker cover. So I'm going to sand it down now so it looks nice and shiny.
Right, guys, we've finished cleaning all the heads up, finished getting rid of all the water and all the degreaser. We have, when we paint it, Curtis really wants these lettering to show up. So we've sanded it down, so it's down to bare aluminium. We're going to primer it, spray it with the colour, and then we're going to sand these down again. The reason we sanded it down first was so we only have to sand down the paint, and when it's done we haven't got to sand down the paint and the aluminium. Just makes life easier, and it saves you in the future of painting it. You don't mess up the actual paint on the rocker cover itself. So now, let's go on to paint.
Right, so we've got a couple coats of primer on the rocker cover now, so we're just going to wait for it to dry, then we're going to apply the colour. You guys don't actually know what colour it is, I don't think. Have we told them yet?
Well, I did say in the video before.
Oh, did you? Right,
yeah,
okay.
when we told them about the lettering on there, I did say what colour it was.
Oh, right, okay. So yeah, we're going to apply the colour, and then we have something very exciting that we're going to go pick up. So we'll paint the colour on. Obviously, we're waiting for it to dry in a minute, so once it's dry, we'll then apply the colour. And then yeah, we're going to go pick up some exciting stuff.
Make sure when you when you got the cans, make sure you shake it for about a minute or so you can proper hear the little rattle of the can. Make sure when you spray it, you want to be about 15 centimeters away from the actual object you're spraying. Do it in nice big long strokes across. Don't go too close or you'll start getting runs. But for the first coat, just be nice and easy with it. Don't have to go too mental with it. But the second coat, start going a little bit thicker with it. Get all the areas covered. We're not going to do a third coat. We're just going to leave it for 2 coats, and then we're going to go straight onto colour after that. So just make sure you wait ample time for it to dry. Otherwise, it's just not going to come out correctly. Also,
another pointer to make as well, as you know, this is quite a major engine component, so it does actually get quite hot. So I would always recommend buying paint that actually is resistant of heat. Now, the paint that we actually got doesn't actually say on the can that it is resistant to heat, but after reading many reviews on it, this is the paint that we've got. It is Hammerite spray.
Now you showed him the colour.
Now I've showed him the colour, yeah. But this stuff, we've read good reviews on it, so we're going to use this to paint the top. Mate, that's going to look so good.
Looks quite good already, I'm not gonna lie. Oh mate.
So now guys, time for coat number 2.
Can has all been shaken up. Make sure you shake it up every single coat of paint, alright? Remember, 15 centimetres away, nice long strokes, okay?
So that's done.
It is always good to start spraying here and then go across the part you're spraying and then finish off spraying off of the actual part you're spraying, just in case you spray it and then any little bits of paint start splattering out. It's just going to it's just going to ruin your work altogether. So start from here, then right across, like that. And I'm going to go do the side bit. Same again. There you go, to this side. As you'll notice now, I'm doing some slightly thicker coats right now, because this is the second coat. So it gets most of the coverage on it. Now that, I think, is looking lovely at the minute. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, it looks awesome. The camera, I don't think shows it up as gold as it actually looks.
No, I think it might be better when it's dry.
So yeah, obviously I will be putting photos on our Instagram. So Ant, what is our Instagram page?
It is Project Turbo Official. Make sure it is the official page.
Yeah, go give us a follow and you can see updates of when new videos are coming out, etc, etc, etc.
So you can get ahead of everyone on the game who's just going through YouTube. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and then you'll be aware of the new videos before anyone else is. Before we put it up, you have little sneak peeks of what we're doing. So yeah,
Sweet.
go and follow. Right guys, it is now time for the third coat of paint. Remember, same as what I said last time, make sure you shake the can well and make sure the paint isn't too dry. You want to do your next coat when it's a little bit tacky. Alright, let's get on to it. Remember, nice long strokes. Start the paint when you're not actually on top of the part you're painting, and then finish it when you're not actually on the part you're painting still as well. One more side. That should be it for the third coat. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and possibly if you want to go to a fourth coat, you can do that. If not, let it dry overnight if you can. But if you haven't got the time, leave it for a couple of hours and then get it back on the car.
Hi guys, so yeah, the paint's all dried now on the head of the car, or the rocker cover. So yeah, Ant's actually just siliconing around the top of the engine now, just to get that proper seal so we can stop the leak that was there before. So yeah, Ant's going to finish off the silicone and we're going to put the head back on the car. So now we've got everything on, the gasket's actually in the rocker cover now, we've siliconed all up on the head, so now it's time to get this back on the car.
Pull back the coil. Can someone grab this pipe here?
There we go. So now guys, what we're going to do is Ant's going to get the bit of cardboard that we made earlier with all the bolt patterns on it, so we can get all the bolts back in and lined up. exactly how they were before.
Always remember to do this, guys. It's the best thing ever you can do, trust me. We'll start from the top.
So remember, when you're tightening the bolts, you've got to tighten them up evenly. Ant will show you the best pattern to do in a minute. But yeah, and then we're going to leave the silicone in for about 25 minutes so we can get, so yeah, it can all set in properly, and then we should be good to go.
Should be. That is the plan.
If you can get out the light a bit, Ant.
Yeah.
Do you want to pop this on?
Yeah. Let's put that there.
Wait, mate, that looks so good. What do you guys think of the colour combo? I want you to put all your comments down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think.
For all them people that say, oh, you should have used a proper spray gun and stuff, remember, this is try to spray it on a budget sort of thing. You don't need any fancy equipment to make your engine bay look nice. Just buy yourself a rat can. As long as you prep it correctly, then you're not going to have any issues, really. No.
No, I mean, look how this come out. This come out good, and it cost me all in about 30 quid to do the sealant, the silicone, everything. So. You
probably won't need the sealant, the silicone. We just got that because ours was leaking. So that's just an extra precautionary measure for us. But you can use any primer or anything like that. I would suggest just have a little look on it first. Like, read some forums, see what they say. Like what we did with the Hammerite. Doesn't specify it's a high temperature paint, but a lot of people have said it's been fine for a few years and whatnot. So just do your research on it, and it should be all right. You alright there, yeah?
Yeah, just trying not to touch the rocker cover.
Goodbye, cardboard. Right, guys, we have got the rocker cover back on the car. We've just sat it on there, just nicked the bolts up just a little bit. All the pipes are reconnected on it now. I'm just going to show you the best way, that I think is the best way to tighten it up, to relieve stress on the actual rocker cover itself. It will tell you in the owner's manual, or if you ever have a Haynes manual, it will tell you the correct sequence. But for myself, I always like to start at the outer edges and work my way inwards. So I'm going to start at this back left bolt just here. So you'll feel it biting, hold your hand on the ratchet just like that, and give it just a little bit of a tug. And then I'm going to go for the right side. Do the same for that. And then I'm going to go diagonal to that. And go to this one just here, bottom left, nip it up, and then go to the right, so it'll be the bottom right now. And then I'm going to go directly to the middle bolt just here. Nip that up, and then the top middle. Nipped up nicely, then the bottom middle one. Go, and then we're going to go to the middle one on the left. Then I'm going to go diagonal to that, to this one just here. And then you can either go up to the next one, or you can go across to this one again. Doesn't matter what way, because if you go up there, you're gonna go diagonal. If you go here, you're gonna go diagonal again. So I've done that one. I'm gonna go up to this one now. Right, that is all the bolts nipped up. These ones don't have to do in a sequence, because they just hold the pipe onto the actual rocker cover. They don't do anything to hold the rocker cover down at all. So starting again, starting the top left.
And then you're just tightening them up properly.
Give them a good little tug. Just do not over tighten them. There is it will tell you in one of the manuals you have. It will tell you what torque setting to do them to. So I would recommend going by what that has, but we don't have a torque on hand at the moment, because I've left mine in the garage where the Subaru is. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
That's
really
the
good.
first video we ever posted.
So now all the middle ones, make sure they're tightish. Do not over tighten, because if you snap one of these bolts, then you're screwed, because you have to go get it drilled out of the head. So that means taking the head off, or hopefully you can do it here yourself. But if you have to head off, that's just a pain in the butt, and then you're gonna have to pay someone to do it. But this way, it is nice and easy for you. We do have these that we've done as well.
Here's some that I made earlier.
These are the little bits that hold the HT lead cables.
We did give them a coat of paint.
Just to make them look a bit better.
Because they were a bit old and they started, like, the paint started to fade on them and stuff like that, so.
What did you do with the bolts?
The bolts are down here.
Ooh. So they will sit there just like that. So now I need the 8mm. What did you do with the 8mm?
It's in the toolbox.
It is in the toolbox.
I really like the look of this gold.
It's lovely, I really like it as well. Guys, top tip, when you're using your tools, make sure you put them back in the right place, because a clean toolbox means you'll find things so much easier when you come to need it. There's nothing worse than needing a tool and you can't find it at all.
So I'm just going to put them back in, and then we're going to leave it to set for about 25 minutes.
Right guys, we have now left the rocker cover about 25 minutes or so, give the silicone a bit of time to settle. We've also got all the bolts nice and tight. We are going to leave the HT leads off it until tomorrow morning, because we do have a very exciting thing happen tomorrow, don't we?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to tell you right now what it is, but you're just going to have to wait for tomorrow's video, which will be going up in the evening. But yeah, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you think to the colour scheme of this rocker cover. If you like it, leave us a like on the video. If you don't, put a comment down in the comment section and let me know what colour scheme you would have preferred, or anything like that. So yeah, please remember guys to subscribe as well. But yeah, till next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Bitch, I wanna party like Chris Farley.